BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The United States has urged China to use its influence with Moscow to discourage any Russian invasion of Ukraine. The State Department in Washington said Western countries were unified in their preference for diplomacy to resolve the crisis, but the costs must be swift and severe for Russia if it took military action. Barbara Platt-Usher reports.
A senior State Department official, Victoria Nuland, noted that a war in Ukraine would not be good for the Chinese either, and again urged them to use their influence with Moscow to encourage diplomacy. Ms. Nuland also said she was confident the newly built Nord Stream 2 pipeline between Russia and Germany would not open if Moscow invaded Ukraine. Germany has been reluctant to add it to the list of threatened sanctions, but the Americans have been pressing their case, and Ms. Nuland said recent statements out of Berlin about the pipeline were very strong.
In the past hour, the US has said it's referring the Ukraine crisis to the UN Security Council. Burkina Faso's new military leader, Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, has said the West African country will return to constitutional order when conditions are right. He was speaking for the first time on national television since leading a mutiny that ended on Monday with the ousting of President Roch Marc Kaboré. Here's David Bamford.
Wearing a red beret, army fatigues and flanked by national flags, Colonel Damiba said he would convene sections of Burkinabe society to agree on a roadmap towards necessary reforms. Colonel Damiba promised farmers and villagers that he would take back territory that's fallen under the control of Al-Qaeda and Islamic State-linked factions. On Friday, the West African regional group ECOWAS is due to discuss how to respond to the coup. It's becoming a familiar task in the wake of similar recent military takeovers in Mali, Guinea and Chad.
President Biden has confirmed that he will make an African-American woman his first nomination to the Supreme Court. Mr. Biden said the person chosen would be worthy of her predecessor, the Liberal Justice Stephen Breyer, who is retiring.
While I've been studying candidates' backgrounds and writings, I've made no decision except one. The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. It's long overdue in my view. I made that commitment during the campaign for president, and I will keep that commitment.
The US Coast Guard says it's found 4 more bodies in its search for 38 migrants lost at sea off Florida. One body was found on Wednesday. A lone survivor said they had set out from the Bahamas on Saturday, but their vessel ran into rough seas. World News from the BBC. Official figures from the United States suggest the economy is expanding at its fastest rate in nearly 40 years. The US economy grew last year by 5.7%, but inflation is also at its highest level in decades. The Court of Appeal in the United States has overturned the conviction of 2 former traders for rigging the LIBOR interest rate, once among the world's most important financial benchmarks. The court in New York acquitted an American, Matthew Connolly, and his British colleague Gavin Black, and in doing so contradicted court rulings in London in which 9 other traders were also jailed. The first female president of Honduras, Xiomara Castro, has been sworn in at a ceremony attended by thousands of her supporters. In her inauguration speech, the left-wing politician said she had received a broken country, but promised to work hard to implement social justice and transparency. The US Vice President Kamala Harris was among the foreign officials who attended the inauguration.
Hermanas y hermanos.
Sisters and brothers, the Honduran people, the presidency of the Republic of Honduras has never before been held by a woman. We have had to wait 200 years since independence for it to happen.
The British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has defended using a government plane instead of commercial flights for a recent trip to Australia. She insisted that the decision was based on value for money, but the opposition Labour Party accused the Conservative government of wasting disgusting amounts of public money on their own vanity. Iranian women football supporters have been allowed to watch the men's national team play for the first time in nearly 3 years. A fifth of the 10,000 tickets sold at Tehran's Azadi Stadium were reserved for female fans. They sat apart from male supporters. BBC News.